Have you ever been in a situation when you moved in with your partner and suddenly felt them pulling away? So maybe before you shared a home, they were affectionate, they were attentive, but now they seem distant and spend more time alone or even act like a roommate instead of a partner. If so, you're not imagining it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the love is gone. What you're seeing is predictable reaction many dismissive avoidants have when living together triggers their deepest fears. And that's why in this video, you'll learn why moving in with a dismissive avoidant can feel like a backward step, what's really going on under the surface, and how you can avoid the dreaded roommate trap and actually grow closer instead of apart. My name is Luna A. May, and I'm a life and attachment style coach and author of several books on attachment styles. And my mission here is to help you understand your emotional patterns, regulate your nervous system, and reconnect with secure, loving relationships that you truly deserve. So let's dive into the subject. Moving in together is supposed to be exciting. For many couples, it's a time to deepen the bond that you already share. But if your partner has a dismissive avoidant attachment style, this stage can feel very different from what you imagined. Instead of more closeness, what you may notice is more distance. Instead of more affection, you may see more withdrawals. And understanding why this happens is the first step to preventing the pain and misunderstanding. So, when a dismissive avoidant moves in with a partner, several fears get triggered at once. First of all, they worry about losing their personal time. They worry about being judged for how they spend their free time. They worry about making a wrong decision that will trap them. So, unless they've already done significant inner work, moving in together can temporarily derail the relationship. It can trigger them to actively create space from you, not because their feelings have changed, but because their nervous system is sounding the alarm bell. And here's also something counterintuitive. Dismissive avoidants equate comfort and security with love. In their world, once things feel settled and familiar, they feel safe enough to stop trying so hard. Other attachment styles approach moving in as a new stage of building a shared life. They expect more closeness, they expect deeper routines, and more affection. But the dismissive avoidance system reads the same event differently. It says, now I'm safe. I don't have to perform. And so they relax to the old habits, which can look like withdrawal. And this is why you might feel bewildered and even rejected. You might think, why are they not trying anymore? Did their feelings change? But very often, they haven't fallen out of love. They're just managing their space the only way they know how. So let's talk about expectations and boundaries, because this is where much of the tension begins. Dismissive avoidance fear being trapped by a partner's expectation. They may worry that moving in means consistent togetherness, more demands, or less autonomy. And so, to protect themselves, they try to set clear boundaries early on, sometimes without explaining their boundaries. So, they might limit how much time you spend together or create routines that care about space for themselves. You may interpret this as a lack of progress or even a sign that the relationship is regressing. But from their point of view, they are simply managing expectations and making sure they won't be smothered. Now, let's talk about conflict. Because if conflict appears in the shared home, the dismissive avoidance instinct is to retreat. Because they don't like having conflicts, especially if their own space, because home is their refuge. When arguments happen in this place, it can feel unbearable and they will shut down even further. This is where things can really start to unravel if there isn't a plan for how to handle it. So, what's the way forward? The key is to be proactive. Don't wait until frustration builds up to the point of explosion. Have open conversation about expectations as soon as you move in. Ask each other how much time you expect to spend together now that you share a space. Talk about what activities you still want to do separately. Discuss what boundaries help each of you to feel safe. And by putting those expectations on the table, you will reduce the fear of hidden demands and create a sense of predictability. What's also crucial is to remember that moving in doesn't mean you should stop dating each other. In fact, the opposite is true. Once you share a home, you have to be even more intentional about keeping the romance alive. Plan date nights, surprise each other, make small gestures that show that you're still investing in the relationship. For a dismissive avoidant, this helps counteract the automatic drift into routine. It signals, yes, we live together, but we're still lovers, not just roommates. And sometimes clients ask me, but what if my partner just stops trying no matter what I do? And my answer is that you can't force someone to change, of course, but you can create conditions that make closeness feel safer. That starts with how you approach their coping behaviors. Because dismissive avoidants are often hard on themselves and they carry a lot of hidden shame. If you criticize or shame them for soothing activities like watching TV, playing games, or needing time alone, it just reinforces their fear of being judged and makes them retreat even further. So instead, try to normalize those activities. If your partner loves a particular show, you might say, these are cool programs. What do you like about them? Show curiosity rather than criticism. This approach tests their nervous system. I see you, and I'm not here to take away what make you feel safe. And over time, that makes it easier for them to open up and for you to suggest shared activities. You might say, hey, maybe we'll listen to this podcast together or try cooking a new recipe or go for a walk after dinner. Share from a place of openness and kindness, not from a place of pressure. This way, your partner feels received rather than managed. And all of this doesn't mean ignoring your own needs, of course. Your needs matters too. If you're feeling lonely or unsupported after moving in, speak about it, but do it in a way that doesn't blame. Use I statements. I've been missing our time together, rather than you never spent time together with me. When you frame it gently, it's easier for a dismissive avoidant to hear what you have to say. Moving in with a dismissive avoidant can work. It can even be a turning point in the relationship. But it requires both partners to bring awareness, communication, and effort. When you air out expectations, respect each other's needs and keep investing in the relationship so you can avoid the roommate trap and actually grow closer. And remember, if you are the partner of a dismissive avoidant, you don't have to navigate this alone. Working with a coach who understands attachment dynamics can give you tools and strategies that are tailored to your unique situations. And if you'd like to work with me, you can book a one-on-one session using the link in the description box below. Together, we can look at your patterns, your boundaries, and your communication style and create a plan that will help you feel secure and understood in your relationship. So, to wrap up everything, moving in with a dismissive avoidant doesn't have to spell trap. It's a moment of opportunity. When you understand what's happening beneath their behaviors, you can respond with empathy instead of confusion or anxiety. You can set clear expectations instead of silently hoping they will change. And you can build a home together that feels safe for both of you, not just physically, but also emotionally. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you found this video helpful, subscribe so you don't miss out future videos, and see you in the next one.